By September this year, foreign troops will be out of Afghanistan. The latest war in that country will be over, but the hopes for lasting peace, security and democracy can't be high. The long history of Afghanistan for centuries has been one of invasions, internal conflict, war and terrorism. In modern times, for most of my life, there has been war of one kind or another in Afghanistan. We all remember the boycott of the Moscow Games in 1980 because of the Soviet war in Afghanistan. And for 2 decades now, Australian troops have been involved in war in Afghanistan. It began, as you know, after the most horrific terror attack in history that was conceived, planned and executed from Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda base in the terrorist Badlands of Afghanistan, shocking the world with those hits on New York City and Washington.
There is the second plane, another passenger plane hitting the World Trade Center.
Looks like 6, 7 floors were taken out.
This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the 2 towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Just horrendous. And in response to that, with the support of a broad coalition of countries and endorsement from the United Nations Security Council, the Afghan war, led by the US and by NATO nations, sought to eradicate terrorist cells from the country and overturn the Taliban rule that supported them. The clear provocation and the UN backing gave this conflict the status of a good war in the public mind, as opposed to the later Iraq war, which was opposed by so many. Still, the Afghan mission changed over time, morphing into counterinsurgency and nation building. It was 10 years before Osama bin Laden was found hiding in neighbouring Pakistan, where he was tracked, shot and killed by US Navy SEALs. Australian troops were involved from the start. Our commitment waxed and waned, as did the international effort. But US President Joe Biden announced overnight that American troops will be out by September, the 20th anniversary of the war. So it was no surprise when our Prime Minister announced today that Australia would set that deadline too. The US, UK, Canada, the Netherlands, many countries paid a heavy price. Over 2 decades, Australia lost 41 service personnel in Afghanistan. 41 Australian lives lost and hundreds injured.
This day, we dedicate to their memories. We think of their families, their friends, the life they would have lived. But they gave that for others they did not know.
It's a heavy toll. Many commandos and SAS soldiers made multiple tours. Rugged terrain, never being sure who was friend and who was foe, green on blue killings, inconsistent global support. The war was always fraught. We should be proud of our country's commitment. I was lucky enough to visit Afghanistan more than a decade ago now, meet some of our troops serving there and speak with the Afghan leadership. Our soldiers' efforts to support peace, to protect communities and promote freedom were immense. It was all very frustrating and dangerous for much of the time, but it was deeply appreciated by those who shared those aspirations. We salute all the Australians who served there. We honour those who gave their lives, and we hope, perhaps against hope, that the people of Afghanistan can hold on to their chance of establishing security, stability and democracy.